Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to do a book recommendation video if you want to diversify your fantasy reading. I don't know how you feel about this, but whenever I stumble upon a fantasy booktuber who's only talking about books written by men and white men at that, I usually get a little bit sad because the fantasy book world is huge and there is so much going on, so many great authors. And I think, if people just read like such a small selection of fantasy, they're really missing out. So that's why I want to do this video. Before I get more into the recommendations, I also want to recommend you a booktube channel. So this is a little shout out, and I hope I say it correctly. The channel is called Legendborn Reads, and her channel is fantastic if you want more recommendations of books written by female authors, particularly fantasy books written by female authors. She's a huge fantasy reader. I think her channel deserves so much more love. Her recommendations are amazing. So definitely go check her out. I will link the channel down below, so it's very easy for you. Just click on the link and you'll get even more recommendations of amazing fantasy books written by women. So because International Women's Day is on the 8th of March, I thought I'd give you 8 book recommendations today. And all of these, or like most of these, are series. I think all of these are series. So I'm going to start off with some that are already finished, and then we'll talk about some other stuff at the end. So for the finished series, with these you can just grab them, read them, marathon read them, whatever you want. And the first one I wanted to recommend is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is a series that follows a girl in Cairo, and this is kind of like a historical Cairo, but we will leave that behind very quickly because this girl we're following, she is entering kind of like the jinn world. They have a different term for that in the books, and that is Deva. So the trilogy is called the Devabad series. The first book has been criticized a little bit for reading quite YA, but I think the series as a whole is just fantastic. And if you can get through that first book, if it bothers you a little bit, I think definitely continue on reading the series. There is, I think, a 5-year time jump between book 1 and 2, or at least a couple of years. So there is a lot going on, and this is just such a lush world. You have this city of the jinn and these different magics within it, but then you also have a very intriguing plot, and you also get some villain POVs. So if you like to hate some characters, this would be a great series as well. If you hear weird noises or I start screaming in a second, my cat is here and she's currently stepping on my laptop, which is what she always does, so she might be closing my microphone right now. I have no idea. Get off. The next series I wanted to recommend is one of my all-time favorite fantasy series, and that is the Broken Earth trilogy, the first book being the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. This is probably a series you have heard about because it is very famous. These are not underrated series in general. It's just some fantasy readers just maybe need a little bit of a push to pick them up. So in this series, we are following a woman who comes home one day to find that her husband has murdered her son and kidnapped her daughter. And this is a world where there is a very particular kind of magic that only some people have, that they can kind of influence the earth. They can cause earthquakes or volcanoes to erupt, but they also can calm down the earth. And when we start this book, we have kind of a huge, terrible event that might be the beginning of the end of the world, because everything is kind of starting to fall apart as we also watch this woman's family fall apart. And this is just fantastic, and this deals with so many important themes, especially in the later books. You have this theme of motherhood as well, which I think is explored really well in this book, and love it. Next up, we have the Greenbone Saga. Now, this is for people who enjoy kind of mafia-esque vibes, because in this one, we are following a city with two big clans. And the magical thing about it is that they can use jade if they wear it on their bodies and they have been trained in it. They can use jade to have magical powers, to be super fast or super strong, stuff like that. And this is an Asian inspired fantasy, so I think again the world is so interesting because you have this like, you know, like big city and these clans, and the way they talk about their like training and the way they perceive jade is like very much inspired by that like approach to martial arts, I would say. So yeah, it is fantastic. Fonda Lee has amazing character work, and she will not care about your feelings at all. So if you start caring about these characters, there is a very high chance that she will shatter your heart with this series. There is also a short story collection in this world and a novella. I haven't read the short stories yet, but the novella was also amazing. So I would highly recommend the Greenbone Saga. And for the last finished series I wanted to talk about, I wanted to mention Chorus of Dragons by Jen Lyons. And this is also a series that has such amazing character work. If you know me, I love amazing character work, so I love this series. And in this one, we have a world where there is dragons, but it's not really so much about the dragons. And we follow this boy and then later man called Kirin, and he seems to be very important. In this world, we have kind of like a jungle-y feel to the world, so it is not like any kind of like medieval fantasy or anything like that. And I feel again this gives such a lush feeling to the world, but then it is also just kind of a little bit complicated, but in the very best way, because people don't tend to stay in their bodies. There is like different ways to switch bodies, to be reborn into different bodies, and it also has like scenes that are set in kind of like the underworld where you go after death. And yeah, it's just, there is a lot going on in this series. This also has kind of like a romancy subplot that is very subtle, but that involves our three main characters. So I love that. I love this series. Go check it out. Now I want to quickly talk about one author where I think if you like fantasy, there is probably something there that you will enjoy. The author is Nghi, and I especially like the novella series, the Singing Hills cycle. I really need to continue on with that because I've only read the first two, and I think they just get better after that. And those first two have already been so amazing. These have a very strong fairy tale vibe. Again, they are Asian inspired, so they have this feel of like Asian fairy tales and Asian mythology, and I love it. And the basic setup of this novella series is that we follow around a monk who is collecting stories. So in every book we receive kind of a story that this monk is told. I also really liked Nghi's Great Gatsby retelling. Not everyone did though, so that might be more of a Marmite thing. And then last but not least, I wanted to mention 3 series where the next books hopefully are coming out very soon. So right now is a great moment to start reading these. And the first one, this will be a finished series when this last book is here, and that is the Godkiller books by Hannah Kaner. So this is going to be a trilogy. The third book is about to come out or just came out, something like that. And in this one we follow a woman who is a Godkiller, which is not seen as a very great job. So she has like personal reasons to do this. She's going around and killing gods before they get too powerful. This is also quite a complex series, and things start to get complicated when she meets a girl who is linked to a god, and usually gods are only linked to like altars and stuff like that, so things, and not people. So she doesn't really know how to kill this god because it's linked to a person. But the world of this one gets so much more expansive as you read the series, and I especially like how much character work Hannah Kaner can get into quite short fantasy books as well. Then we have the Morrigan Crow series. Now this might also not be for everyone because it is a middle grade series, but I think it is like one of the like best ongoing series where I just wait for the sequel so much. In this one we follow a young girl at the beginning of the series that is always been supposed to die on her 12th birthday, but then on her 11th birthday she is swept away to a magical world where she has to compete in some trials. And basically the thing is that she has to pretend she has magical powers to compete in these trials that she doesn't have, but there seems to be something else going on with her. So there is a little bit of that mystery aspect. She also lives in a sentient hotel. There is a big talking cat that is kind of like her bodyguard like person. Just amazing. Last but not least, I wanted to mention Legendborn. This is a YA series, so again a little bit different from these other recommendations that I have mentioned, but it is again one of my like favorite ongoing series, and I'm so hyped for the third book. I think this is going to be a longer series, so the next book will not finish it off, I believe. I might be wrong. And in Legendborn, this is an Arthurian legend retelling where we follow a young girl who goes to this like university thing where she can start early because I think at the beginning of the book she's still 16, so she enters college kind of early, and there she learns about a secret society. And as a Black girl, it's like very unusual that she kind of tries to enter this secret society, and the reason she does it is because she thinks that they have something to do with her mother's death. And I love this series. I highly recommend it, and as I said, I can't wait for that third book. So these would be 8 recommendations if you want to diversify your fantasy reading. I will definitely do more videos like that, so if you want to see those, you can subscribe. I also have a ton of like other recommendation videos. Like one that is quite popular is my fantasy book recommendations with LGBTQIA plus characters, so feel free to explore the channel and subscribe. You can also leave a like, that really helps me out. And if you're now interested in any of these books, I would love to hear about it in the comments as well. And also, please leave me your recommendations because I will never get enough of diversifying my fantasy reading. See you soon. Bye!